So is it true that you were originally supposed to be the third member of Outkast?
You know what? Hardly anybody ever asked me that question, but yeah, it's true. It's true. Me and Andre, that's three stacks to y'all. We grew up together. We grew up all the way from elementary school. We used to go to Sarah Smith Elementary, and it was me, him, and another good friend of ours, Tony Hightower, and we were all like play cousins. And Tony, his name was Tony Baker then, but his mother is the legendary Teresa Hightower, and she's like Atlanta's own Donna Summer, if you will. So like, you know, she sung at the different clubs and different venues that were around at that time, and she was really famous, and he was really, you know, popular because of it, and had inherited an awful lot of talent. So he's very talented, and we were all really good friends. We would go over to his house, and you know, he had the drums and the guitars, and you know, he had his own little makeshift studio. So when I was young, we would love to go to Tony's house, and so we grew up. I mean, that's really the history. That's as far as we go back to the third grade babies, you know. And I didn't see Dre again until like 10th grade. You know, and we went to Frank McLaren Alternative School. You know, we both had, you know, unfortunately dropped out of high school, and we were seeking an alternative means of completing our education, you know, and that's the only place that would take us. So, you know, it's hard to imagine that, right? You know what I mean? But yeah, it's true. So we bumped back into each other. He was doing music and I was doing music, and it was like, damn, okay. So we just hit it right off and picked it up, just like a day hadn't gone by. And so Twan, Frank McLaren is in College Park, right on Main Street, and Tri-Cities right across the railroad tracks. And so they both were going to Tri-Cities at the time, and Antoine Patton, you know, professionally known as Big Boy, you know, a bit more indecisive, you know what I'm saying, about what exactly he wanted to do, and Dre seemed to have his head set on doing music, and you know, it wasn't as formal as it sounds. You know, like he introduced me to Big, and you know, we all became friends, and you know, but it was just us being young and kind of torn between what we was going to do for a living, and mom wanted you to go to college or this, that, or the other, trying to get a real job, and you know, those kind of things. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think everybody equally enjoyed doing music, and if it could have worked out for everybody, then of course, you know, why wouldn't you choose music? So it's not to say that he didn't want to do it or anything like that, but just on a couple of occasions, I stood in for him. So when he couldn't make it because of work or something like that. So we did this cable access show, and you know, I did some of his parts, and I was basically kind of, there's probably that footage is somewhere out there somewhere, you know, but I was basically Andre's hype man on that show. And the cable access show, they came up to the school, and they did like a little speaking engagement up there, and Dre really bluffed them and was like, you can be anything you want to be. And he was like, all right, well, we want to be rappers and we want to be on your show, you know. So he bluffed them, and we went down there, we did the show. There was a couple of call-ins, and it was like, y'all suck. You know, but who's laughing now, all right? All right, but so anyway, that's really all that was about, and we kind of discussed, you know, casually, you know, so like me being a part of the group, but you know, didn't work out that way, and I'm kind of glad for it, because I think the dynamic of Outkast is the two of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they're yin and yang. You know, it's incomparable, and it's unmatched. You know, as far as hip hop, they have the greatest, most impeccable track record. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as evolved. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, from Southern Playlist to Cadillac Music on up to Speaker Box Love Below, just gradually growing bigger and bigger and bigger. You know what I'm saying? Like, to becoming, you know, probably the best of all time as far as duos are concerned. You know, and then me on the other hand, you know, we all are the same age, me, Big, and Dre. You know, but I guess I acted a little older because I was already, as we say in the South, off the porch. You know what I'm saying? So I ran with the older cats. You know, so enter in Cujo, Beat Gibb, T-Mo. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, these are my OGs from the neighborhood, and I ran with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, not only did I run with them, I kept up with them. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I'm the baby in Goody Mob, and I'm the mouth of it a lot of the times, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of people mistake what the ranking actually is, but I'm the BG, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, in the group, you know, but I ride for it, you know what I'm saying, like, and we seem to have a chemistry, you know what I mean, a collective front, if you will, you know what I'm saying, like a formula that seemed to work, you know, and I think I was supposed to be, I know for certain that I was supposed to be a part of this group as opposed to Outkast, you know, but we were still one larger collective. And at that point, everybody was called the Goody Mob. So the Dungeon Family wasn't the Dungeon Family at first. It was called Goody Mob, the Goody Mob, you know. So the studio was the Dungeon, and Rico Wade, Ray Murray, Pat Sleepy Brown, you know, collectively they're known as Organized Noise, and it was Rico's home studio in his crawl space. It was just dirt, you know what I'm saying? So it was 13 or 14 of us over there crammed into a crawl space, you know, just kind of, you know, seeking that salvation out of that sound, and, you know, and to this day I just kind of praise Rico Wade for letting us, you know, seek shelter, you know, in his home where his family was at, you know what I mean? Like, they really took care of us. It's like, it's really a wonderful success story, what happened to all of us, and all of the history, because, like, you know, I went to high school. I was an underclassman, but went to high school with Cujo, Joe, and T. So T grew up. His mother and father still live a street over from my grandmother's house where I grew up at, and, you know, Southwest, man, Cascade, MLK, Hamilton Road. You know what I'm saying? Like, ooh, that's that South Side. You know what I mean? And I love it. I always will. So it's a great story, but you know, it's a long story too. So.